Streaming online, Heavy Flame Boat on the Rust. Search on all major streaming sites. Or you can find us on Bandcamp if you want to buy it.
Wonderful. Right, remember now, check them out. They're wonderful. And we are now going over to Geraint.
What? À la bouche de Picamore,
the amazing Double J, or better known as James and Jeff, or Jeff and James.
Are we on? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There was a man from Kazakhstan who had a farm with llamas, a well-travelled man with a golden tan that's unlike Judith Chalmers. But he was a man of ill intent who really meant to harm us. So I took a trip upon a ship heading for the Bahamas. Llama man is after me, over land, air and sea. So I'll run as fast as I can, far away from the llama man. I'd like to say I got away, but he followed my tracks. Yes, I did fail. I'd left a trail of email, phone and fax. And the farmer trained his llamas there to hunt me down in packs, and forwarded his plans to me, so I could not relax. Llama man is after me, over land, air and sea. So I run as fast as I can, far away from the llama man. I did disguise myself as someone that he knew. I shaved my head and learned to swim. I was Duncan Goodhue, but the baldness wasn't genuine, and I'm sad to say it grew. And the llama man, well, he noticed this summer cover, it was blue. Llama man is after me, over land, air and sea. So I'll run as fast as I can, far away from the llama man. Plug-in air fresheners and hands-free soap dispensers. I have no use for Fixie Dent, the paste that fixes dentures. And I don't want to buy Activia from Martine McCutcheon, or anti-aging wrinkle cream with the oil of nuts in. I want to be advert free, that's why I mostly watch the BBC. I'll choose which goods I want as it suits me. I want to be advert free. I'll find my own insurance firm, don't make me compare them. Panty pads weren't meant for me, and I don't want to wear them. I don't want to consolidate my debt to an easily monthly payment. And I don't want to sue no one if I trip on the pavement. I want to be advert free. That's why I mostly watch the BBC. I'll choose which goods I want as it suits me. I want to be advert free. I won't take my tips from PG when it comes to buying tea. I should not have gone to Specsavers, 'cause I know how to see. And I don't want your Gaviscon for my acid indigestion, or an over 50s policy on June Whitfield's suggestion. I want to be advert free. That's why I mostly watch the BBC. I'll choose which goods I want as it suits me. I want to be advert free. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. When your carpet smells fresh, your room does too. So every time you vacuum, remember what to do. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. Do the shake and vac and put the freshness back. For mash gets smashed. Well, hello. Yes, we are James and Jeff. That's James Parr over there. And James does occasional work for a farmer. That very same farmer once ran him over in his Land Rover. But we don't like to talk about that. My name's Jeff Japers. Not really. That's just a stage name because my real name's Crap. Jeff Crap. And on my literature, I describe myself as an award-winning comedian. And you might be thinking, oh, Jeff, what was that award? Well, I'll tell you. It was the Star on Holiday Award that I won on a holiday camp on the Isle of Wight in 2014. Sounds impressive, doesn't it? Well, it will sound less impressive the more I describe it to you. The competition was in 2 heats. The first heat was in the summer when we were on holiday there, and there was a children's section and an adult section. I was in the adult section, and I was the only contestant, so I would have won just for turning up. But my prize for winning was a return trip to the very same holiday park in the dead of winter to a slightly less superior chalet to compete in the grand final of the talent competition. And this time, I wasn't the only adult contestant. This time we had all the winners from all the weeks over the summer. So yes, there was 2 of us. A woman singing opera to backing tracks, and me singing a song about beards being back in fashion. Managed to scrape a win and won £100 worth of Argos vouchers and the chance to be able to put award-winning comedian on my literature. And you might be thinking, well, Jeff, what did you buy with the Argos vouchers? Well, my wife wanted to buy hot water bottles. But I said, no, I won the competition. I should buy something nice for myself. So I bought myself a G-Shock watch. Now, if you're unfamiliar with G-Shock watches, you need to be very careful, and this song will tell you why. Spread the word, there's a giant bird who's very fond of G-Shock watches. Cover them up, don't let him look, or he'll have it in his clutches. If you've got a Seiko, you can let it show. He's only got eyes for a G-Shock Casio. From Japan, Spread the word, there's a giant bird who's very fond of G-Shock watches. Cover them up, don't let him look, or he'll have it in his clutches. Other Casio models are of no interest to him. Give him a calculator watch, he'll throw it in the bin. He loves a G-Shock from Japan. Have you got any reverb on that desk? Give me an insane amount of reverb. Down in the bottom of a very deep well, there's a bird with a hoard of G-Shocks. He doesn't plan to sell. He's a fool to himself. They'll not work in a hole. They're solar powered and radio controlled. It's a G-Shock from Japan. Spread the word, there's a giant bird who's very fond of G-Shock watches. Cover them up, don't let him look, or he'll have it in his clutches. G-Shocks are often used by the army and police, but be on guard, he's very hard and a very cunning thief. Who likes a G-Shock from Japan? If you own a G-Shock, let me have a word. You really should be cautious of the giant bird. He'll prey on you from high above, especially in the night. Swoop down and rip it off your arm if you activate the light. So don't activate the light. He loves a G-Shock from Japan. Spread the word, there's a giant bird who's very fond of G-Shock watches. Cover them up, don't let it look, or he'll have it in his clutches. Spread the word, there's a giant bird who's very fond of G-Shock watches. Cover them up, don't let him look, or he'll have it in his clutches. Well, I've been told that you can go along to a site called Just Giving /JACS, and you can donate. And COVID's been terrible, hasn't it? But it hasn't killed the Queen off yet, has it? No. 2, 3, 4. When the Queen dies, I will eat eggs. Not too many, just enough to fill my belly. When the Queen dies, I will eat eggs, boiled, scrambled or fried. Oh, when the Queen has died, when the Queen dies, I will eat eggs, the yolk and the white, if that's all right. When the Queen dies, I will eat eggs, egg on bread when she's dead. When the Queen dies, I will get my saucepan out. When the Queen dies, I'll try cooking poached eggs, though I've never done it before. But the death of the Queen seems like something worth doing it for. When the Queen dies, I will eat eggs, eggs on the boil as she leaves this mortal coil. When the Queen dies, I will eat eggs, eggs Benedict, when the bucket she's caked. When the Queen dies, I will eat eggs, eggs and ham at me Auntie Maisie's when she's pushing up the daisies. When the Queen dies, I will eat eggs, eggs on plates as she goes through the pearly gates. When the Queen dies, I will get my saucepan out. When the Queen dies, I'll try cooking poached eggs, though I've never done it before. But the death of the Queen seems like something worth doing it for. Okay. When the Queen dies, I will get my saucepan out. When the Queen dies, I'll try cooking poached eggs, though I've never done it before. But the death of the Queen seems like something worth doing it for. you very much. We've been James and Jeff. Have a lovely day. Ta-ra!
Bye.
Hi, welcome to the B-side of COVID 2020 here in JACS Live Music Venue. I am not Eggy and I'm not Benny. I'm far more looking than both of them. And I'm a presenter on Data FM, which is a radio station which is very kindly hosted by JACS out the shed, out the back. And this is our colleague, Gareth.
Hello. Hello, I'm Gareth. I host a show called Chunky's Choice Cuts that's launched through Dapper FM. Obviously, we're hosted out in the back, in one of the back rooms here at JACS. So thank you very much for joining us today. We're halfway through. Before I was in, we've had 40,000 people have tuned in at some stage back and forth today, and we're halfway through hitting our target for fundraising. So keep on watching, keep on actually sort of giving us your money for this incredible, worthwhile cause, and thank you very much for joining us. We've got... Sorry, after you.
If you've been with us most of the afternoon, or even for the last hour, you will have seen Jeff and James giving us the eclectic set. So here we are, Jeff and James.
Good afternoon, fellas. Thank you very much for joining us. How are you doing?
You're welcome. Good, thank you. Yeah.
How basically did you actually find performing to effectively an empty room? Because that must be quite
I think you just have to be well rehearsed and just go through your set in your head. And there are people in the room, so I just. But they were all busy. So.
They're all busy. They're all back.
I found it a bit weird when Jeff was doing his storytelling that there was no sound whatsoever from the audience.
Yes,
it hit me then.
Yeah, I imagine, because I suppose if you're telling a story, you're waiting for that automatic audience feedback. Yeah. Whether it's people laughing or actually kind of joining in. Yeah. It almost like kind of gives you those kind of verbal prompts, doesn't it? Really, as part of your set. Yeah. So, how have you guys found lockdown? Because obviously there's been no sort of performance. Have you been taking the time to write?
Well, it's been
part of other bands as
weird
well?
for me because the day before lockdown they called us into work and I thought they were going to say you're going on lockdown, but they said you're being made redundant. So I had a double whammy.
Sorry to hear that.
That's all right, but I've enjoyed lockdown because all of my older colleagues had still had to go in. But I had like a redundancy payment and I stayed tucked up at home for a few months.
Nice.
Writing songs and working on new stuff and thoroughly enjoyed it. Decked out the loft as well.
You've actually caught up on all of your DIY
all my
jobs.
DIY, yeah.
So is there now going to be an avalanche of music coming from you?
I've learnt some cover versions on the piano. I've done Craig David's 7 Days. But not tried to alter the words, just done it straight.
Right.
So, but delivered it in my style. And so I'm looking forward to performing that live.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing that as well, fella, to be fair. What about yourself?
There were 3 days in lockdown where I was pulling my hair out just to go to a pub, a cafe, or someone's garden, you know. So I was drinking up on the bench in Cumberland. Right. But I didn't want to be known as a drunken old man on the bench, you know. So I'd only do it once a week, like. You know.
Well, yeah.
But apart from that, it was all right.
Good. Have you got any plans now, kind of moving forwards with things?
Well, I don't know what's happening, to be honest.
Because of practicing, we always have to practice in a pub. So that's going to be a while, isn't it, before people can be. And they said something about singing in a room. If you're projecting your voice, that's the worst thing you can do indoors with lots of other people. So I'm happy to be. I've done a few live streams over the. I've done about 4 since lockdown, so I'm happy to carry on doing that.
Oh, good.
But it's easy. I'm easy about waiting a year or 2 if we have to. You know, no rush to get back to it.
I suppose it gives you a chance then to work on those live performances.
Yeah.
So then when you do come back, you know you're going to be really well tuned for your songs.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be kind of really chomping at the bit to kind of just get out there and just kind of go and perform to some people.
Yeah.
Well, as a duo, we have had a couple of practices, but outside. There's a bench that James was talking about. We had a practice there last week, and people walking past while we were practicing.
My sister's gazebo.
Right, well, it's been great chatting with you, or at least listening to Gareth chat to you. He hogged the highlight.
Sorry,
but apparently we've only got 1 minute left, so there's no time for
Gareth
to introduce the next band here.
No. You're jumping again then.
Oh, right, okay. Well,
you're gonna link the Cheney.
right. Well, we're going now over to the main stage for the next band. which is going to be introduced by Cheney over there.
Cheney,
Apparently.
from the beautiful town.
And you're doing a fantastic job, Mr. Cheney, and fantastic job to everybody in JACS in Aberdare.
So thank you very much for tuning in.
Bye.